Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm actually a little taken aback because I would have thought where my friend, the senator from Louisiana, was going, I thought you would have said, if it had been Joe Biden, he would have actually put an NPR station on Mars.
He just didn't think about it. If he had, I'm sorry.
All right.
Excuse me.
Anyway, Mr. Vought, you know, when you became director, you took an oath, like I did, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, faithfully discharge the duties of the office. Now, do you agree that Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution of the United States says the president shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed?
Yes, Senator.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate your acknowledgement. Now, I believe by taking that oath, you have a duty to faithfully discharge your office as a designee of the president. You have a constitutional duty to execute the laws faithfully, even if you don't agree with them. So I don't understand, sir, how I see the OMB director as having a role that is ministerial, not legislatively. Yet, sir, I start just with the nonpartisan GAO that says you have illegally impounded funds at least 7 times. You know, if you wanted to legislate, you should jump in the fray and try to get elected. We passed that impoundment law in the 1970s when a president at that point, President Nixon, illegally impounded funds. And we said, going forward, we want to make clear that if Congress appropriates, you got to deliver these funds. You and I have gone back and forth a number of times on CDFIs. You know, I can't think of anything that's more bipartisan than CDFIs. The number of my Republican friends and those investments actually help lower that poverty rate. It's a capitalism-based system. But on CDFI funds, money was appropriated on March 15, 2025. In July 2025, we sent a letter signed by 13 of my Republican colleagues requesting that you release those funds. We heard crickets until last week. My hope and prayer is that you will follow the law and make sure that those 25 funds are released to these CDFIs. I can tell you one in Virginia, 300 units of affordable housing that was taking care of houses that had been destroyed in the southwest part of our state. So I am hugely disappointed that you somehow believe that you're a legislator. You're not a legislator. You are ministerially supposed to allocate the funds that are appropriate. I remember having Secretary Bessent, who's been a big supporter of CDFIs, come in and say he couldn't act because you wouldn't let him. Do you have authority over the Secretary of the Treasury?
Senator, the president has proposed to eliminate the CDFI program.
Sir,
and we haven't impounded anything.
Do you have authority over the Secretary of Treasury?
No, I don't.
Okay. Is your job ministerial or legislative?
The Congress has given us statutory authorities to make sure that that funding is well spent. So when we
you are the arbiter. Something like CDFIs, which frankly President Trump was the leading champion of in his first term, overwhelmingly supported. Your judgment is more important than the huge bipartisan majority that supported CDFIs?
No, Senator. In fact, we released the money last week, but we are trying to make sure CDFIs are consistent with our agenda. Let me just give an example.
You released the funds over a year.
$6.2
You released the funds over a year after they were supposed to be released. I believe that is a violation of your duty. Let me
A pride fashion show called Sashay the Runway promoted transgender housing. $3.7 million for the Opportunity Finance Network, which has sought to address a white monopoly on capital through racial justice. Also, all of these CDFI programs are exempt from ability to repay.
Director Vought, if Congress had appropriated money for housing on Mars, my belief is your job is to administer, not make that judgment. It is our job to make the judgment. It is our job to fight back and forth and then legislate.
Administer it well. That
Well,
is
sir,
also our job.
I think the GO has said you have violated your office 7 times, illegally impounding
We have not
funds.
impounded a single
I think
thing.
it is disgraceful, and I think I would hope and pray that my Republican colleagues would join me and say, because they'll maybe be a Democratic OMB director at some point. I don't want some future director of OMB determining what is good and what is not good. That is our job. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.